Dave, we were very fortunate to get a W today. Air Force presents a lot of problems for us because of their style of play is difficult to get ready for. They're trying to get backdoor layups. I said if they probably ran 150 backdoor cuts in 70 possessions. They did get some baskets against us, but what we did, the game plan was sort of take away the threes and turn them over. So a little disappointed that 20 turnovers didn't result in more points, but we're still able to just make sure they had tough shots to make as often as possible. I think they're 20th in the country in 2-point field goal percentage. We didn't change any of that, but we made sure they still only scored 15 points. So offensively, what I liked the best was we started out 1 for 8 from 3. They came out in a bit of a matchup zone that we had seen a 3-2 zone, but to me it didn't look like that. Maybe it was the same thing and I didn't realize it. We started out 1 for 8 from 3, and then take away the 3 shots when we emptied the bench at the end. I think we shot 40% the rest of the way, like 9 for 21 or something. So you miss some. We didn't go into a shell and say I can't shoot. I think we stepped up and made some really big shots after that. So we continue to see just every game it's just adjustment, and we went real simple today. So something we work against everything and just try to get baskets and then turn around. It is really hard to not get a basket or get a basket and turn around and guard somebody again for 28 seconds. I mean, with tough cutting and everything, it's hard to do that. I just love the way the resiliency our kids showed in that defense.
No, you talked about it a little bit. I guess 8 of your first 9 field goal attempts were from 3, and you went in, and then I think after that you got 3 layups and a dunk. Was there anything in particular that? No,
I think it took a while for our guys just to look at the defense and figure out what it was. Even the coaches, that they have played 4% zone defense this year, 4% out of 100. So we didn't plan on that. We did walk through some stuff, but they did have 2 weeks. And I know those guys, those are all engineers. I know they could figure out something to trick us a little bit. And I thought we took some good shots there, a couple ones. And the big difference in the first half really was I told our kids we had 8 turnovers in the first half. So if you want to score, what do we have, 28 at half? 20. If you want to score 28, which would be 56 points a game, then we turn it over. We turned over 3 times in the second half. We scored 45 points. You want to score 43 points, you want to score 90 points a game, don't turn it over. And that's sort of what happened.
Jay?
John, going off the turnovers, do you think part of that all was just from the fact you guys have only played 1 game a week?
No, we're still sloppy in some areas, and we're really going to continue to clean it up. Right? As I said, we had all those fast break abilities, and we didn't get it. We had a couple charges. We had guys just our hunters every now and then, right? Just hunt and don't see. And then next play is like, who is that guy? He's really good at seeing the extra man. So it's a process we're going through, and I enjoy teaching that process.
And in the turnovers your guys forced, maybe most notably, Iggy came up with that loose ball and threw down the 2-handed dunk. You've seen a lot from him, but were you pretty impressed by that too?
Yeah, it is. I'm glad that we got 2 points. I'm not. I just want the ball to go in the basket, and if he had missed it, missed doing that, there probably would have been a different reaction by me. But if they're going to do that, they better make it.
Chris, a couple things of spark that Eli gave you in the first half.
Yeah, we went in and we could see how they're going to play Xavier, and Xavier just came off a pretty good shooting night. But when I saw the first one way off, I said, well, he's not going to have a lot of confidence with the next one. And Eli gave us a great spark. What Eli does is why he started last year. Our flow was better offensively, but he really understands defense off the ball. He is the one directing a lot of people. He's always in the right position. And that's why to put him in there and just play, he can shoot better than he did today, but just put him in and play was good, give Xavier a rest, and then that way Xavier was ready for a whole second half. Because you guard that thing for 28 seconds, like I'm saying, you're guarding cutters over and over again. It can tire you out.
And then it took you a while to get off the bench at halftime and follow your team. And what were you thinking?
Yeah, I hated the last 4 minutes. That was not good basketball, the last 4 minutes. And I had already used a timeout, and then they had a foul to give. I should have waited and let them foul again. And then I was going to call one thing. They called something else, so I let them just go with it. Absolutely not the right thing to call. So it's just we ended up getting a terrible shot at that time. But they did a good job. They had 2 fouls to give. They got it down to 4 seconds. They were in a zone defense. We didn't, but it wasn't that play. It was the 4 minutes before that, where all of a sudden all this teamwork, we're up by 10 or 11, and then we did not play that same way.
On your right, Bob.
So you were able to intercept a lot of those backdoor cuts,
Yeah.
especially in the first half.
Yeah.
Was that just like a scouting thing, or are you kind of very used to that because you've been able to implement a lot of those?
No, I mean, we worked on it for 2 solid days against Holy Cross, and then 2 solid days here. And if you knew the prep we put into those things, when we're getting ready to guard them, we don't say, okay, let's dummy all their plays in 15 minutes and let's guard them. We dummy their plays for 6 minutes, 5 minutes, and then guard that particular action. We dummy again, we guard that. It's the whole that hour and a half, we're breaking down what they do, and then it all comes together at speed. So they guarded 150 back cuts today. They probably guarded 500 in the last 2 days.
Over here with Steve.
Just touched on how Eli has provided some spark to the guys. They also.
Yeah, both those guys, I told them right before the game, you know, you 2 guys right now are sacrificing a lot for the team, but you're really valuable. You win games for us because foul trouble, right, or whatever, a particular offense or defense people are playing that doesn't suit. You know, I felt bad we didn't get Austin Davis in there today. It doesn't mean anything, right? And it means that Brandon was more suited to play their driving style, right, and all the action. But what they do differently is, and I know it's not your question, but they do differently is they take the 5-man and he can play any role. And that was really hard for Austin to do the last couple of days. He never had to do that in his life. And so Brandon had done both, so we went with him. But what was your original question?
We're talking about Isaiah.
Yeah, he's given us good spark off the bench, and then you know he can play several positions, which really helps us.
And then talk about he's bringing the ball up a little bit sometimes on the break,
Yeah.
and he's you talked about it before, taking more threes. He's become a more versatile player.
Yeah.
Talk about how hard he's worked to do that and how important.
You know what? In the break, we want him to bust out. We don't necessarily have to make the plays, but don't outlet it. Just go and then find X. You know, find Eli, find Jordan on the break, and that's very helpful. And then he's like I said, him playing the 5-man was really key for us. Just we could switch every screen when he was in there, and then he could pop their big man and hit the threes. So it's really he's a Swiss Army knife for us, and we got to keep him just focused on this different role that guys like Duncan Robinson have been in for us before. Did a great job. Heck, Mitch McGarry was like a 6-man most of the season, coming in and playing and not starting. Crazy things happen, but you got to be all in for the team.
In the middle of Andrew.
Coach, I know you don't think you turned defense into offense that well today, but generally speaking on the season, do you think that's been a strength? Being able to
Our numbers say we're pretty good at it, but I don't know that it's accurate. Some of the fast breaks, but I think we're just okay at it. I really think we're okay. I've had better teams at it. Hopefully by the end of the year, this team will be one of our best teams. Because if you're really good defensively, and this end of the season will tell us whether this is our best defensive team ever. Some of the numbers would say that, but the whole idea of is keeping them out of transition and then getting us into transition is huge for us, because that's when you're seeing all these different defenses every single day. That we should have one transition offense. Run as fast as you can, set screens, find the open man, take the ball to the basket, find people. That's our transition offense. It's the one time we just insist on value the possession, but run and find people.
And then early in the second half, you had the quick subs with Charles and Iggy,
Yep.
just a couple teaching
Just,
moments there.
2 defensive lapses right in a row, and it was like, get them out of here. I don't want to punish them, I want to talk to them. And basically the message was, you keep playing defense like you just did, and you're not going to play. And they ended up coming back out. They did not come out and play elite defense, because this is tough stuff to heart. But it was effort area or communication area. If they beat them with their cuteness in the back doors, I'm okay with that. It's when you don't talk right, or you open up, or you point fingers, or look for help. That's what gets you in trouble. But if they continue to do that, they would have spent a lot of time on the bench. But I wanted to message them both.
Stay on the right with James.
Brandon Johns came in for a stint in the
Yeah.
first half. Was that maybe just giving him an opportunity maybe?
Yeah, again, like we didn't play him against Seth Dugan from Western Michigan. It was a bad matchup. This was a little bit different. They were going to drive the 5-man a lot, so we felt he could do that. The guy's 6'7", he's 6'8". He could guard that better, right? But right away they picked on him. They run that play like twice a game, and I don't know if Dave did it on purpose, but he ran it right at the freshman. He got lost, and then the 3-point foul. But it's just a taste of what they're going to see when they go in the game. They'll pick on the freshmen at different times, or they'll just. There's a lot going on out there.
And now, I guess going into the holiday break, do you feel like it's maybe coming at a good time for guys to
Say again?
Going into the holiday break right now, do you feel like it's maybe a good time for guys to just kind of get away from basketball?
Yeah, I think that the trip was, the trip to Spain. We can't forget about that. That's why we came out really strong, but maybe why we're sort of just like plateaued a little bit right now. I don't think we've gone down, but I think that we're not playing certainly like we were earlier in the year. And but I thought our effort was great today. But we're not shooting the ball like we were, and we will. We just got, I think, getting fresh legs back, getting the last non-conference game out of the way, and saying, okay, this is now the real stuff, right? We're 2-0 in the league, and if you're going to win a championship, we're going to win both home and away a lot to win this championship.
Got time for a few more, Chris?
So there would be a faction of the fan base that points to December and a panic. You're not panicked. Which team would you say is more indicative, the November team or the December team? Are you somewhere in between, or do you not know?
No idea. I have no idea. And then that's we've been practicing consistently, and we got a good bunch of kids. But it depends on the style of play we play. It depends. But thank goodness we've had no injuries. But it's all a lot to do with that. You know what I mean? And how people play us. And don't forget, as we're scouting others and finding out how to play, they're scouting us. They're finding out, all right, what did Western Michigan do? What did Holy Cross do? Right? What did Air Force do? So, the Villanovas and the Providence had 1 or 2 games of data. Now people have 12 games of data, but we're doing the same thing. So that's, we have to adjust, all year long.
Jacob, you want to close this out?
John, what did you see out of Charles today, especially with his athleticism?
But he wants the ball. He's and I want him to be aggressive with the ball. But the reason Charles stays out there a lot of times, even when he goes through a turnover or two, is because of his defense, not just his individual with everybody else. But he's getting 50-50 balls that some of our other guys aren't getting, and giving us extra possessions. That's huge for us. But what we love best about Charles is his attitude is really strong. No matter whether he has 5 or 25, he's the same guy in the locker room afterwards, and that's not common. So just appreciate his leadership on this team.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.